Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's live. Let me make sure that I have shared to everyone and that we are all set and ready to go. So I think we're all good now. Alrighty, so welcome to today's live. I am Raquel Toussaint, and this is my YouTube channel. We are the number one place on the internet to get HR and career tips. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you want to just wait a little bit more and see what I have to say, or if you want to explore the channel, that is totally up to you. But I am pretty sure you'll find something that we've recorded and have on our page or in this live that will be super useful for you. So, to my returning viewers, thanks for returning today for our live. And it's been a couple weeks since we've been live, since I've been live. Last time I was live, we went through some career questions that had came in through our form. So if you're new here, there are two ways that you can ask the question on this live. One is through our live chat. And so if you are new here, definitely let me know in the chat where you're from, where you're tuning in from, and let me know that someone's out there listening to me and that, just let me know in the chat. But two ways that you can ask questions in the chat, and then also on our form in the description box as well. You can leave your question in there also. But the quickest way to get your question answered is join the live in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, you can leave a comment below, and then you'll also get your question answered that way. But like I said, the last time we were live, I went through some questions that came in the form on the chat, and we will do that today. And then I also mentioned that I was traveling and I didn't know if I would be able to go live or not. Apparently I didn't. The connection and the wireless connection in the islands was a bit spotty while I was there. So I decided not to because I didn't know what quality I would get for the live. And that was about 3 weeks ago. So I talked about me traveling and the reason I was traveling, and I wanted to kind of say what was going on with the channel as well, is that all my vlogs that I've had on this channel, Raquel Toussaint, that goes over just my family life and building in the islands and things like that, I've moved it over to another channel that I have. So that's going to be more of a personal channel that has all of my building updates. Because if you're new here, I am building a home in the islands. And so I was documenting that process on this channel, but I've moved it over to my new channel. So I have two channels. The new one is called Mango Time. So I'll put that into the chat as well. So in case you're interested in looking at that progress, the process and the progress of the build, you can head on over to that channel. But quickly, so if you were tuning in for that and you subscribe just to see the updates, like I said, head on over to that channel. But while I was there, like I said, the connection was a bit spotty. But I'm gonna actually play a video. I hope that you guys are seeing it on the live, and I'll tell you more about this. But while I was there, we visited our home that we're building. We're currently on the foundation and all of that. So like I said, all the details of that is over on Mango Time. And like I said, I'm putting that channel name into the chat so that if you're interested, you can go on over. Alrighty. Okay, so I do have some viewers that are tuning in, so thanks for joining. Okay, so like I said, I've been traveling, and then also after that, first thing when we got back, Maya got sick. So my daughter, I have a 6-year-old daughter, Maya, and a 14-year-old son, Malachi. Maya got sick, so I couldn't go live because I was tending to her. Then a couple of days after that, I got sick, and then Peter got sick, and then Malachi got sick. So the whole family was sick. But better. I'm better, they're better, and I'm back. So today, what I wanted to focus on was switching careers. And I did a video about a week and a half ago. It's here on my channel. So if you have not seen it, you can definitely go on my channel on videos. And then you can see that video. I think I titled it Switching Careers or the Best Tips for Switching Careers. So I'm going to do a little deep dive into some of the things that I was mentioning on that video. But before that, I hope that you guys saw the video that I just shared. Just a few quick changes that I made to the live. So I use StreamYard to stream this every Sunday when I come to you. Um, so with StreamYard, you're able to share videos and the screen and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to attempt to do some of that today as I'm talking through some of these career assessment topics. So bear with me because it's my first time using StreamYard in this capacity. But first things first. So like I said, I did a video a couple weeks ago, maybe about a week and a half ago, as far as, and it was on switching careers. And on that, I talked about, it was about 6 different tips on how you can switch careers and, realizing your strengths, visualizing your career, and things like that. So definitely check that out. But the first tip that I talked about was visualizing your career. And I actually got a lot of feedback in the comments and then also emails from surprisingly some parents that wanted to share those tips with their teenagers that are in high school. So, which was great because when I did that video, I felt like it would be great for young adults as well as professionals at any age looking to switch a career. But the first thing that I talked about was visualizing your career. The first tip on trying to pick a career is to visualize what you want, the lifestyle that you want to live. So I mentioned that in the video. And then in that topic, I mentioned that when I was younger, I used to visualize the career that I wanted for myself. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted in a career and what I wanted to do necessarily. I lived in the islands. There was not as much exposure as I wanted, but, or that was there, like there is stateside. So I used to visualize what I wanted to be. I knew the lifestyle that I wanted. I knew that I wanted to work in a high-rise building and carry a briefcase. Now, this was back in the early 90s, so briefcase was a thing back then. So I knew I wanted to do something in corporate America. I just didn't know what that was. I used to visualize the house that I wanted to live in, the car that I wanted to drive, the size family that I wanted to have. So I always say for young professionals, the first thing that you want to do is to really visualize what you want to do and the lifestyle that you want to have before picking a career. Because, if you want to live a fabulous lifestyle, maybe, I don't know, a firefighter job might not be for you just because of the pay scale for a teacher, a firefighter, or something like that. Not that those are bad careers, but it's really just to be realistic and start with the end in mind versus saying that I want to pursue this career and then, you go to school, you're 2 years in, and then you're like, okay, I'm not going to make the money that I want to make. I'm not going to live the life that I want to make. And then you've wasted a couple of years on that. So definitely first things first is to visualize the career that you want. Let's talk about the vision board also that I mentioned in that video. But before we do that, let me see here. All righty. I was having some connectivity issues. Okay, we're good now. So in that video also, I talked about a career vision board. And So I was preparing for that video. I was doing some research on YouTube and online of a career vision board, and I kept seeing videos and examples of just vision boards, like general vision boards that people do at the end of the year. So what I want to do is here on this channel, I'm not going to do it this week because I have a video that I'm recording on a topic that I'm going to release this Wednesday. But I'm thinking the week after, I would like to talk about what a career vision board is. So what it really is just like a regular vision board, but instead of putting on your vision board your vacations and your things like that, you want to really put photos and illustrations of what you, in your mind, what you visualize that career to be. So it's more focused on career, and it's something that you can do, at the end of the year, just like another vision board, post it up and reference that as well. So I will make a video on that on how to create a career vision board. And then also, I would like to do the exercise with my son, Malachi, because he's in high school now, on him creating a career vision board as well. So I'm going to record all of that and take you guys with me for that. So definitely, if you're new here, you're not subscribed, subscribe because you are going to be in for a treat. If career and HR tips and just professional growth is your jam, this is the channel for you. So definitely subscribe. Alrighty. So also on in that video, I talked about also what I visualize now for myself. So I am I don't want to give away my age, even though I'm not old, but I am at least 16 years into my career, and I still visualize my next steps for my career. So I say this to say that it's never too late to switch careers, to come up with a plan. So, like I said, I created that video with that person in mind, that person that has been in their career 20 years and they want to do something different. They want to pivot. So definitely check that out. So you can see those tips on maybe actually it's the perfect time of the year to start to make some plans if you're thinking of changing a career. Maybe you're in accounting and you've been doing that for 20 years and it's just not fulfilling anymore like it used to be. Or you always had the regrets of doing something or going towards that career, and then in the back of your mind, maybe you wish that you were a school teacher, but why not? Like I said, it's never too late. It's never too late to start to visualize what you want to do and to make that change. Now, talking about making that change in the video, I also talked about the second thing that I recommend is once you visualize the career that you want for yourself, is to also write a list of your top 5 strengths and your top 5 weaknesses. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that because in the video, the whole video itself was about 6 minutes long, so it didn't do justice to this topic. So what I want to do is to take each part or each tip and make its own video so I can do a deep dive in. But for the purposes of the live today, I wanted to talk about strengths and weaknesses as well. And I say the top 5 strengths, the top 5 weaknesses. I know that that can be sometimes difficult for especially young professionals in high school because they might not necessarily know, again, what their strengths are or their passions are. They're just still trying to figure out themselves and what they like doing in school, their favorite subject, and that can change as well. So I would recommend asking friends, asking parents. There's no one more honest with you than your mom and your dad. And interview them. Ask them what they think are your 5 strengths and your 5 weaknesses. Interview a teacher. Interview someone that's close to you, or aunt or uncle, if you're not sure, or maybe you've only came up with 1 strength and 1 weakness, and you want to get feedback from others. So definitely solicit that feedback. So, for example, I know for my son, and he's probably watching it. He's probably thinking, "Why is my mom mentioning me in her videos?" But I thought it's fitting because Malachi is in high school and he's going to start to have. I'm going to start to have these conversations more and more with him as far as choosing a career and what's next. But when I think about strengths and weaknesses, Malachi is great in math. He is actually brilliant in math. He's a gifted student. But all around there's always going to be something that you may lack in. So I would say Malachi is not the most creative person, right? So he's on that one end of that spectrum where he's really good in math and science, but he doesn't do well when it comes to creating a picture or building a science project that includes being extra creative or whatever. He's very black and white. So with that, he may not know what that is, and that's up to me as a parent to identify that. But it's up to him to ask as well. So even for your seasoned professionals, also, it's not a bad idea to ask a coworker what they think are your top strengths or your top weaknesses, or a boss. I think that helps just getting feedback from others. And that's one thing that I didn't mention on the video that I wanted to dive a little bit into on today's live. Um, Another thing that I spoke on the video is researching jobs. I mentioned a career website that's called browsecareers.com. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the description box for those that are watching the replay. As I was doing my research for this video, I came across that website and I love it. I love it. I love it. I've never been on the website, but as I was doing my research, I found it. And what I liked about it is that there are hundreds of jobs that they list, and they have them categorized by tech jobs and restaurant jobs and things like that. And within each category, there's just a list. And then when you click on the specific job, it goes into just like what I mentioned before, strengths, weaknesses for the job, the outlook, like how many employers are looking for individuals in that field. Then it goes into pay range, what you can potentially make in the career, and then the education required and all of that. So I love that website, browsecareers.com. But when I talk about researching jobs, most importantly, it's going on to career boards like LinkedIn and Indeed, looking to see what's posted in your potential field. So if you, like I said, I'm going back to my accountant example. So if you've been an accountant for the last 20 years, right? And you are trying to switch jobs, maybe you want to get into human resources, right? Instead of accounting, I would urge you to go on those career boards, see what type of jobs are posted in your area. Because where you're living might not be the best place for a field that you're in, right? So there's certain cities that have a whole lot of tech companies, right? So you'll see a cluster of tech jobs in that city. And so I would say look at those jobs, those job boards, see what's out there, and then also start to read the descriptions. A cool thing now, because of all of this pay equity stuff in the news and laws that are passing, you have like LinkedIn and other career boards that post salary ranges for these positions as well. So, which is great for professionals that are trying to decide if they want to switch into that career. That's a great example of a real life posting, so you can see really how much real companies pay for a job like that. And maybe it's up to you to make a spreadsheet and of all of those positions that you're researching, so that when you start to pivot, you can see what they are looking for as far as on the ad. Most of those jobs would say what education they're looking for, the experience. And I would say if you're switching careers, don't be scared, especially if they say that they need 5 years of experience. always say take the leap. You never know what can happen, even if you don't have any experience. We talked about on my last live, you can go back, we talked about transferable skills and identifying those before applying for another job in another career. Um, so, hi to everyone that's new. I see that I have a few new folks in here. If you can just let me know in the chat that you're here and where you're tuning in for, just so that I don't feel like I'm talking to myself either. um, so, the next topic that I talked about on that video was um, interview and study people that are currently in the field that you're trying to switch to. So I think that can apply for both young professionals and seasoned professionals. It's easier, I think, for a seasoned professional, especially if you're working currently. You're maybe exposed in your current company to others that are in another field, right? So you can look to see, what traits they have, what just really how they move and you know what hours they work, right? So, you might think that you want to be in HR or you want to be in your legal department, but are you prepared for the long hours that they work? So just look and study those positions as well. And then for young professionals as well, in that video, I mentioned interviewing and connecting with those that are in that current field. Um, so connecting with maybe you want to be marine engineer, right? Or a diesel engineer, I would say. Connect with someone in your community that might be a diesel engineer and see. I think most people are willing to talk to you and give you an idea of a day in the life of someone in that career. So definitely talk to those individuals so that you can get a better idea if that is something that you really want to do. Nothing better than real life testimonials, real life stories, because there are one or two things that can happen. You can run for the hills, or that will be a confirmation that it's something that you really want to pursue and that you can keep pursuing, especially getting that real feedback. Um, so that really wraps it up, everything that I discussed on that last video. What I'm going to do is to also share my screen with you because I wanted to give you guys a good idea and just a brief tour of my website. Sorry, let's see. Let's see if we can do this. Like I said, I'm actually using StreamYard to its full capability now, and I don't think that it's sharing, but it's okay. We'll probably try that next time. But what I was going to do is share my YouTube channel with you, and it has what I did is I organized all the videos into different topics, so different playlists. The playlist that I have most of my videos in is professional growth, and that's where I have the switching careers video. So definitely reference that and other videos in that playlist. And like I said, if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. But this wraps it up for today's live. I hope that it was helpful. And if you're watching on the replay, like I said, you can leave your question in the comment box below, and I will definitely try my best to answer every single one of them. So thank you for joining today's live. Again, I'm Raquel Toussaint, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.